Recording in progress.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Rock and Roll podcast. Check out this record. My name is Frank, and with me is my good buddy that I'm about to embark in therapy with, Marc.
Hey, Frank, and hello, listeners, and hello, roll of toilet paper for crying, and hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh, there you go, Marc. It's okay, buddy.
Oh, sorry, I had to
go. You're okay. You're okay.
Okay.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, and you can see these nicely chiseled jaws on YouTube.
That's right. But when do our therapists leak our sessions onto the internet for your entertainment? Oh. Great question. And thank you for asking. Yeah. Well, thanks to Zool, my copay's nice and low because every week new episodes drop each and most every Friday. Frank, you ever wonder about people hearing us for the first time and what they think of us?
Oh, man. Well, if they are hearing us for the first time, then they're probably not annoyed with us in one of our past reviews. So welcome, everybody. Welcome. We review records track by track. We have a lot of musical discussions, spotlight episodes on bands, even some mysteries. Ooh. And we've only scratched the surface. And Marc, as I always say, we're just getting warmed up, my friend.
Oh, right. This is the lighter one. I did the lightest. Be sure to check out our verse series where Frank and I will duke it out on behalf of two bands or two albums or two songs or two whatever twisted gauntlets we can think of to throw down, all in the name of the one true beauty in the universe. I speak, of course, of Total Stereo
Domination. So cute.
Like a carnival clown, my friend.
Thank you, buddy. I was worried I'd get stuck in that voice, though.
Oh,
it happens time and again. Anyways, carry on.
Well, be sure to check us out on Instagram and our Facebook group. Hopefully these episodes will leave you wanting more of our musical goodness and Marc's clown voice. And if you got a record you want us to check out, drop a comment wherever you find us. Once you do that comment, I'm going to reply with thanks for listening. What record do you have to suggest? So while you're at it, subscribe, rate, and review. So I say this, Marc, you're ready for some therapy and this analysis of this truly captivating songwriter?
You know, Frank, I'm gonna lie to both of us on this one and say yes.
All right, Marc. So we're gonna be talking about Townes Van Zandt, and we're gonna try to be as lighthearted as we can when going through this particular record. So let's talk about who Townes Van Zandt is. So born John Townes Van Zandt in 1944 in Fort Worth, Texas. His family was very wealthy. In fact, this is crazy. He's the third grandson of Isaac Van Zandt, who was a leader of the Republic of Texas. So before Texas was a state. Yeah, that's just crazy. The county Van Zandt in Texas was named after his family. So pretty prominent here. His father, Harris, was a corporate lawyer, and they moved around quite a bit. Now, Townes received a guitar in 1956, and in 58, they moved to Colorado, which he had very fond memories of. Townes was known for his high IQ, you'll see why, and his parents were grooming him into becoming a lawyer or a senator. In 62, Townes attended the University of Colorado, and in the spring of his second year, his parents flew to Boulder to bring Townes back to Texas. The primary concern was his binge drinking and episodes of depression, only later to be diagnosed as a manic depressive. Now, Marc, in my research, there wasn't a definitive event causing this, but we haven't even... but we're on the surface, right, of a very standard, uneventful upbringing, and all of a sudden it takes a sharp left turn while Townes is in college. Your thoughts on that? Because what I just said there was no like really traumatic event.
Yeah, you know, I was worried at first that you were going to refer to me as this show's depression head. Because I'm the one who's always depressed, I would know about it, and that's why you wanted to ask me the questions. You know, for college,
it was just your spot in the script. That's
all. No, you're fine. College is an interesting time in the lives of many young people, particularly in this country of the United States of America. Some folks really flourish in this time, while others struggle to put down the bottle or the sweet sticky weed and get to living. And it's a sad situation. But as with many great songwriters, the heartache associated with it brings for blinding inspiration. And you can hear that clearly with Mr. Townes Van Zandt.
Yeah. And now due to these episodes, Townes received, this is insane, Mark, 3 months of insulin shock therapy.
Frank, our show is not that bad.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
Oh, you mean his episodes?
Right, his episodes, not our episodes. Yeah. Now, those unfamiliar, this is now a discredited and extinct form of psychiatric treatment.
Thank God.
Exactly. Patients, I even don't like reading this, but patients were injected with large doses of insulin to be induced into comas for weeks. The intent was to jolt patients out of their mental state. I mean, Mark, listen, we talk about this off the air, but I cannot stress this enough to people that the good old days, they're occurring right now, everybody. Okay. And without a doubt, where they weren't during those times. That's all I have to say. After reading stuff like that, absolutely not. Townes' mother would later state that this was the biggest regret, allowing the treatment to occur. And this would have an effect on his long-term memory where he couldn't, this is crazy what I'm about to say, where he couldn't recall his childhood, which he coined as the happiest times of his life. I mean, Mark, in the name of Zeus, we aren't even at the music yet. And what a path that Van Zandt experienced, wouldn't you say?
I mean, it's a great reminder that you never know what someone is going through. So try to be kind when you can, right? I mean, because I mean, what seemed to be a fun, uneventful childhood, other than positive, led to a college experience of excess and wear, and then to shock therapy. So, I mean, this being put into this is barbaric and heroic. And ladies and gentlemen, if you think you want to go back to the 60s because things were better, God forbid you have a mental illness and they do this to you. I mean, because look, spoiler alert, we should be talking about this guy the way people talk about Bob Dylan.
Thank you.
It is absolutely amazing what this man has done, especially when you consider the paragraph Frank just read to you and the atrocities that this man was put through.
Unbelievable. So, it was
I would hope that's his mother's biggest regret. Yeah, because
even hard reading it and stuff like that. Just so you know, because we're not again talking about we're talking about a nuclear family, right? Mm-hmm. And we're talking about again events that seem to would occur to anyone during childhood. So these things that take a hold of these people have no bias, by the way, too. Everyone could be susceptible to them, which is crazy. So Mark, now in 1965, he was accepted into the University of Houston's pre-law program.
Holy smack.
Soon after, he tried to join the Air Force, but due to his manic depressive state, he was rejected. So in 1967, he quit school to become a singer-songwriter like those who impacted them, such as Hank Williams, Muddy Waters, Rolling Stones.
Hell yes.
Of course, obviously, there's going to be Dylan, right? Circulating around. August of 1968, we get his debut record, For the Sake of the Song. And in early 1969, we get his second record, Our Mother, the Mountain. Both fantastic records. Please check those out. In September of that year, now 1969, we have the album that we're focusing on, which is self-titled. And man, what a, that's perfect that it is self-titled.
Oh,
we get 10 original songs, including new versions of 4 songs from the debut record. Mark, you're listening to this for the first time and you visually, like, in the cover, right? You see this lonely guy sitting in the kitchen, right? Mm-hmm. Did you think this record was going to sound like this?
I expected maybe like a whiff of this record. I wasn't expecting this absolutely stunning collection of work. Oh, in case you missed it, spoiler alert. If you haven't heard this record yet, pause this podcast, listen to the record,
come back,
pick your jaw back up off the floor and come back to us. We'll wait.
Right.
Boop, boom, boop, 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 boop.
34 minutes.
I guess if they pause it, we can just move on, right? I mean, we've done this joke before, so we probably don't need to.
Yeah, I think technology has now allowed them to do that. So,
all right, Frank, that should be enough time. Let the crying begin.
All right, let's start the official therapy session. So track 1, For the sake, thank you, for the sake of the song, the name of the first record. So this is one of those re-recorded tracks I previously mentioned. If you're wondering of the first occurrence of When Your Heart Gets Ripped Out, it's right here. So right off the bat, a very softly played, almost resembling a sunrise, but the sun is without a doubt setting. Marc, your thoughts on this opening track?
Yeah, well said, Frank. You can feel that sun setting of his hopes for this relationship, and just come out of the gate with this powerful emotional number to start the album off with is just absolutely stunning. I spent a lot of time with this album this week, and I was thinking about it being his third album, but also the re-recorded work and starting the album with the first song from that, the title track from the first album. It's just putting it all under that self-titled moniker, and what that means, the gravity that adds to these songs, Frank, how this represents a guy like Townes Van Zandt. This feels so personal, not just the song, but the whole setup of the album in such an exact tone for that to be the first song you hear when you put this album on. He just stamped it like definitively. This is his sound, and this is his song, and this is what you need to know about Townes Van Zandt. And this is such a powerful statement, especially, this podcast is about albums.
Hello.
To open an album and to put a number like this. I mean, and then of course, Frank, leading right into Columbine. I mean,
so track 2, Columbine. Mentioned before that Townes obviously spent time in Colorado, so we have Columbine, which back then obviously had a different meaning than it does today. We get 5 verses with no chorus, so very Dylan. But the voice is definitely softer. And for those who never liked Dylan's voice, I'm going to say, but they admired his songwriting. Here's an option for you. Check this out. Marc, are you digging this tune? Because I was.
Yeah, I remember someone had looked up what Columbine was when the tragedy happened, and I was surprised that it's actually this beautiful flower.
There you go.
Which makes the song really powerful. Townes really paints that small town Colorado kind of hardness very honestly, and with a lot of love for it in his heart. You can really feel his connection for it, despite the fact that it's probably killing him. Frank, I can't help but admire these lyrics. All the living that you're saving won't buy you or buy your dreams for you. I'm just in awe. I'm going to do that line again because I probably didn't do it justice. All the living that you're saving won't buy your dreams for you. That small town, you can put as much away as you want. You're never going to get enough to get out. Just get out. It's just
captured beautifully. Track 3, Waiting Around to Die. Wow. If you're looking for the absence of light, then this is where it's at. This is one of Townes' most famous and darkest tunes. According to his first wife, he wrote this in a closet, and in the first few months of their marriage, Townes would reply that he has others like this, but when it comes to playing live, no one actually wants to hear blues on blues on blues, which is interesting that he said that. Marc, you think Townes was indeed just waiting around to die?
Frank, I'll tell you, I think I'm going to change my mindset after this, and I'm going to get busy living and stay the hell away from codeine. This song is just absolutely hypnotic, and you feel yourself become drawn in with each word as they come out of his mouth. The band feels so perfect here. The harmonica pops, as he mentions, hopping on a train, and suddenly the whole band is sitting around him in the boxcar as the scenery passes. Like, this is such a, we use that cliche of painting pictures all the time, but Townes really does this amazing job of painting these pictures and bringing them to life. It leaves me with one question, Frank. Where has this been my whole life?
Right.
Penny and I are going to need to talk about this. She had one job, Frank. Love you, Mom.
Love you too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Track 4. Don't you take it too bad, Penny, please. No. Listen, spending my first 7 years of life in New York, you don't get caught up in any sort of music actually resembling this in country music. But as a kid, I always had the expectation of what it would sound like. And this sounds to me like those thoughts. Again, why I always get rubbed the wrong way when people are like, oh, I like country. Well, listening to the wrong stuff. Mark, I hope you're not taking things too badly here, are you?
Not too badly at all, Frank. If it ain't you to blame, babe. It ain't you to blame. I read that totally wrong. I'm sorry. It's the beer.
Nice.
I can say I've made the same assumption myself in regards to the sound of country music and this song. I'm fascinated by this song and what it sounds like when Townes Van Zandt tries to sound hopeful. It's tragic and endearing. I don't know how to describe the music other than it's pleasant enough strumming under the voice of perpetual heartbreak, and it's impossible to turn away. Sorry, we're 4 tracks in. I'm just in awe of Townes Van Zandt's mastery of country and blues. I mean, it's just that simple.
It is. It really is.
Genius.
Absolute genius. Track 5, Colorado Girl. So more use of Colorado as the backdrop in the story. Some lyrics to point out. Well, the promise in her smile shames the tall mountains. She can bring the sun to shine, tell the rain to fall. Pretty impressive stuff. So Mark, am I your Colorado girl?
You know, I was thinking about going out to Denver and seeing if I could find a Frank.
Yes.
This might work out kind of nicely. All I have to say about the song is it makes me think that to be loved by this man must have been both a blessing and an absolute curse. It's a beautiful song. It reminded me, I think because it's called Colorado Girl, it reminded me a lot of the Avett Brothers and their desire to write songs after every beautiful girl that passes. And I just kind of had that image.
Right, like Pretty Girl at the airport.
And some beautiful Colorado girl, and just him being honest and knowing that he's going to destroy the whole thing, even though he doesn't deserve to be with her in the first place. I just think it's a beautiful moment. Like it's gorgeous.
Well said. Track 6, Lungs. Okay, so this is in my list of all-time favorite songs. Lungs is in reference to Townes' breathing issues caused by the insulin, the insulin shock therapy. The damage done here is explained in this stunning tune. The guitar is so brilliant, and his use of the E minor and D chords going back and forth, just amazing craftsmanship. The whole song lyrically is incredible, but I wanted to point out verse 3 in particular. Here we go. Salvation sat and crossed herself and called the devil partner. Wisdom burned upon a shelf, who will kill the raging cancer, seal the river at its mouth, take the water prisoner, fill the sky with screams and cries, bathe in fiery answers. Oh man, I mean, Mark, won't you lend your lungs to me?
You can have them both if you need them, brother. Frank, we are walking the line between folk music and the blues, from that like foot stomping bass drum and tambourine rattle, like a snake under the porch as Townes Van Zandt steals your lungs right out of you with each breath. Like it's just amazing, man. What a truly amazing blues on blues on blues number. Again, I'm just in awe of this whole record, and I agree with you. This is absolutely one of the bright, gorgeous moments of beautiful melancholy. Right along with Waiting Around to Die and Columbine and like
everything else.
Right. And for the sake of the song, and we're only 6 songs in. I mean, like, we're halfway through this record, and my God, how does this thing get any better?
Oh my God. Well, track 7, I'll Be There in the Morning. After literally a lung-wrenching tune, we get this soft and somber tune. I keep thinking of Dylan's Meet Me in the Morning, which wouldn't be released till 75 from the Blow on the Tracks record. But Mark, you like how this album is flowing thus far?
Yeah, absolutely. As I just mentioned, you know, the predominantly acoustic albums like this have a habit of stacking similar sounding songs together. But Van Zandt does an amazing job of layering these songs out so they're impactful and digestible. No matter how heavy it gets, you never feel like you're ready to walk away from this album. It's deep, it's personal, but it really holds on to you. There's no like, oh, I'm just gonna skip ahead a few tracks, because you know what? There's no reason to when the next track is Fare Thee Well, Miss Carousel.
Right, absolutely. So you get to a song like this, track 8. This song musically now is upbeat compared to the rest of the album. Carousel, I'm assuming metaphorically, is used maybe for a woman who Townes has seen both the flaw and the charming features of. I really enjoyed how we get this far down on the record, and we're getting a tune with drums and bass really making their appearance for the first time. Mark, what say you?
Dude, I'm struggling with the words, dude. Won't you come and get when you're sure you don't need me then? I'm sorry, it's such a crazy word. Or such a crazy line. Won't you come and get me when you're sure you don't need me then? Like, I'll stand outside your window and proudly proclaim your name. When the song builds to the chorus finally, and it starts repeating itself, and you can't help but feel so satisfied because you've been waiting for him to repeat that chorus that second time the whole time. It's always another heart-wrenching verse. So by the time it builds up, it just feels so right. Like, you know what I like? There's just something about like the build of this, and then you get this chorus repeating at the end.
So satisfying.
Something he's done, right? Because you get the song earlier where he just bangs 5 verses out,
right?
And this one's verse, chorus, and you're waiting for it. You're begging for that repetition, that heartache to just give me the chorus again, so it stops hurting for a little bit.
Right.
Oh my god.
I know.
Oh my god.
Well, we get track 9, Quicksilver, Dreams of Maria, another tune actually on the debut record. This version is much slower and actually more emotional. I enjoy both versions. And in this tune, you have no option but to be attentive to the strength in Townes' lyrics. It's not easy to do this for 5 verses and have all of these verses just be jam-packed with impactful lyrics. Mark, your thoughts on this tune here?
Great. Now I'm crying on a tropical island. Yes, lyrically amazing, but the guitar work and composition of this record are just perfect. Here we get this kind of violin fiddle accompaniment along with some bongos, and that doesn't sound like it would work, but it fucking does, man. And you can't help but admire like the beauty of it, the simplicity of it. Like I shouldn't say we always, I don't know how often you guys are at the beach, but you go to the beach and there's always some dickhead playing his acoustic guitar, and maybe his buddy's got a set of bongos. And if you're lucky, they can do a song half decent. And you're like, that's never going to work. And then Towns Van Zandt shows up, and here's an acoustic guitar, a couple bongos, and a fiddle solo. And it's perfect. Like it doesn't make sense. But it does. And I'm beautiful. This record's not even fair.
I know. To think that it exists and it took us this long to get to it, right?
Agreed.
Track 10 and the closer, None But the Rain. Another tender song for this record's closer. What a better way than to have rain as the central topic. It's a lonesome tune, and it really captures that man in the picture sitting by himself in the kitchen. Mark, your thoughts on this final track here?
I mean, it closes with "Fare thee well, my love, goodbye." And I'm with you, Frank. That first read through the lyrics, I'm looking up at the album cover and I'm going, he's sitting there writing his goodbye note, and he's going to disappear into the fucking vapor after this. Like whatever's going on, and he's leaving that place. He is never returning. And you believe him.
Yeah.
You believe his love was true, and you believe this whole record, and just like, oh wow. What a way to close an album. Especially right when we talk about an album that's self-titled, right? What does that final track mean?
There you go.
This puts a pretty shiny nail in that coffin, if you ask me.
Wow. Well, Mark, as you can imagine, Townes developed a cult following. However, this record came out in 1969, but by 1973, he was admitted to rehab for alcohol. Townes was also, unfortunately, addicted to heroin and tried to cope with his mental anguish. So in the 1980s, Townes actually had a resurgence, though, due to people such as Emmylou Harris, Willie Nelson, and Merle Haggard covering his songs.
I mean, those are no. That's not a dude who would later turn out to be Hootie and the Blowfish.
Right. Like, yeah. These are legit people right here.
Ooh, yeah.
Legit.
I mean, come on.
Legit people.
Yeah. No offense to Darius Ruckus. I mean, offense to Darius Ruckus. Fuck you, Hootie.
Right. There you go. Yeah, exactly.
I love you. I mean, I don't. It's fine. I'm totally impartial to you. I don't know why you guys. Anyways, move on, Frank.
Well, listen, if people are again like, stating country stinks, the three names I just mentioned too, Emmylou Harris, Willie Nelson, and Merle Haggard, check them out. You'll definitely like it. So he was also it's also said that Van Zandt turned down invites to write with Dylan, which would have been insane. He was a big Dylan fan, but he didn't care, of course, for the celebrity persona, right? Mm-hmm. In 94, he was admitted to detox, and it was told that trying to detox him again could kill him. He was resilient, and 2 years later, in 96, he was slated to record an album with Sonic Youth Steve Shelley, but Townes fell down the stairs and injured his hip. He laid outside for an hour, and he dragged himself inside and refused medical help. The planned recording with Shelley was canceled due to Townes' unfortunate drunkenness. Townes would eventually he would die on January 1st, 1997, due to heart failure, also known as drugs and alcohol, for 30 years. Very tragic here, Mark. He was 52 years old. Do you want to give your final thoughts on this record here?
Frank, I'm thinking back on Red City Radio's Love a Liar. Yeah, and you're wearing the hat. And the line they used before the track starts about the horrible beauty of things. And without being cynical, that's really how I feel about this album. Not that it's horrible, rather the beauty of Townes Van Zandt's melancholy. His sadness is really profound and beautiful. These songs aren't for the lighthearted. It feels very much like a somber, but excuse me, feels very much like a somber, but anything but sober look at life that wasn't as kind as it maybe should have been. Waiting around to die, don't take it too bad, for the sake of the song, fare thee well, Miss Carousel. Each one of these songs would have been the crown jewel. I used the wrong spelling of jewel there, of any songwriter worth his salt. The fact is, these came from the mind of one man. That's something truly amazing. I've been hunting for this guy already. I want an OG copy, but I did order the 180 gram pressing of the Towns Van Zandt self-titled album that we just reviewed. I'm excited to add it to my collection. Please listen to this record. This will be in my top all-time albums, Frank. I'm giving this as close to a perfect score as I can. 9.9 out of 10. It would be perfect, but Lars Fredriksson wasn't available to play rhythm guitar yet when they recorded it. So, you know what I mean? If heart means anything to you, check out this record.
Yeah, Mark, there's nothing I love more than a gut-wrenching singer-songwriter album that really leaves you in shambles, but also inspires you to write your own songs. This album is the master class on songwriting, and Townes Van Zandt is almost like a tragic literary figure that you could tell was just slated for an impending doom. He was as if Dylan, Hank, and Cash all merged into and their darkness was constantly on display. These songs are just an indication that someone is not well, and the fact that he lasted to 52 to me seems nothing short of a miracle. This is country the way it's intended to sound, and this is a dream for those who like their folk music to make them feel very, very vulnerable. We haven't given many tens, here for the score of the album. I debated that. However, I did 9.5, but I think the 9.9, 9.5, I think it equates the same, because I wasn't thinking of the 0.6, 7, 8, 9. I just felt 9.5 was the next thing to the 10. So it's as perfect gets at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, obviously we come up to this interesting thing with records, right? What is a perfect album? What is a perfect record? And that's, as songs are subjective, as music is subjective, certainly albums are too. I think this is one of those records, though.
Yeah.
Put it on, compare it to what you think is the best. I'd have a hard time saying that you're going to find somebody who writes more impactful, thoughtful, emotional songs than you will here.
Yeah. I mean, and we'll get to this probably in a way more detailed episode, but to me, a perfect record is every song is basically something that you really adore. That's the first and foremost what I think of when I think of a perfect record, and this definitely fits that mold. So
yeah, so it's like it's Fear the Bomb, We Don't Belong, and then Townes Van Zandt, and then everything, and then like Sgt. Pepper's,
right?
Yeah, I mean, no, nobody knows what we're talking about, but you and I and Seth.
But that's awesome. That's awesome.
Thanks for listening, Seth.
Yeah.
You want to play a game?
Yeah, I got a little game here, Mark, and I took inspiration from your game last week. So we mentioned Towns, we mentioned Dylan, we mentioned the lyrics.
Are we gonna play songs Bob Dylan wrote about towns he's been in?
Oh, see, that's how your mind is way more creative than mine, because I just did a simple. I'm gonna read you the lyrics, and you're gonna tell me if this is Dylan or Towns.
Oh, okay. I know that's cool. You're like, I'm still gonna lose, but okay.
You're like, this is simple stuff. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first lyric is here, and I picked obviously because there's some Dylan songs that you'll hear. You'll be like, oh well, that's obviously Dylan. So I picked another obviously, but he's got millions of songs. So I picked ones maybe we weren't too familiar with. Here you go. So is this Dylan or is this Townes Van Zandt?
Okay.
The lyric is, well, the emptiness is endless, cold as the clay. You could always come back, but you can't come back all the way.
Holy shit, that's Dylan.
You're right.
Yeah.
That was the track Mississippi from Love and Theft.
Ooh, what a great line.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh.
Ooh.
I finished my beer.
All right. So this tune is when the bandits have stolen your jewelry and gone, and your crippled young gypsy is all grown tall and strong, and your dead misconceptions have proven you wrong. Well then, princess, where are you planning to turn to?
It didn't end in a rhyme, so it's not obviously Dylan.
Or is it?
Or is it? I'm gonna go Dylan again.
This was Towns.
It's a great line though.
Yeah, and the song is Sad Cinderella.
See, I did some branching out on the Towns. I listened to some of the best of shuffles. I should have listened to full albums.
So good.
But yeah, I mean, just the two of them. I know this is gonna be hard.
Yeah. All right. The next is sign in the window says lonely. Sign on the door said no company allowed.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Towns.
This is Dylan. The song New Morning, or from the album New Morning, sign on the window. That's All right, here we go. The name she gave me was Caroline, daughter of a miner. Her ways were free. It seemed to me that sunshine walked beside her.
That's Towns.
That is, you're right. Yeah. Texuma Valley. Very good, my friend.
Oof.
I know. It's not like this is not easy.
No, and each line is fucking beautiful.
I know. Oh I know.
I gotta watch it with the profanity. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Next is a swallow comes and tells me of her dreams. She says she'd like to know just what they mean. I feel like I could die as I watch her flying by. Ride the north wind down to see Kathleen.
Could you repeat the first two words to that?
Sure. A shallow comes and tells me of her dreams.
It's shallow. It's not swallow.
Oh, is it? A swallow comes.
One more time. Say those three words again.
Yeah, let's do it. A shallow comes. A swallow comes, Mark, and tells me of her dreams. She says she liked
Dylan. It's got to be Dylan, right?
Well, if I could read it,
so wordy.
If I could read it right, then
it's a paragraph.
Yeah, I know, right? It's Townes Van Zandt.
Oh, I thought it was so wordy. I was like, that's got to be.
The song is
Bob.
The song is Kathleen. We'll talk to Bob.
Bob.
All right. When you wake up in the morning, baby, look inside your mirror. You know I won't be next to you. You know I won't be near. I'd just be as curious to know if you could see yourself as clear as someone who has had you on his mind?
Towns.
That's Dylan.
Oh!
With Mama, you've been on my mind. It's okay, man. It's okay. Last four.
Oh, all right.
Peace will come with tranquility and splendor on the wheels of fire, but will offer no reward when her false idols fall. That's a good lyric, by the way.
Fire, false idols fall. That's got to be Dylan.
That is Dylan.
Yeah, I'm like, come on.
Changing of the Guard, Street Legal, 1978. There you go. Okay. And time was like water, but I was the sea. I'd have never noticed. I'm sorry, let me repeat that. And time was like water, but I was the sea. I'd never noticed it passing. Expect the turning of night into day and the turning of day into cursing.
I mean, Townes Van Zandt was in a mental hospital, right? That's got to be him.
He
had to write this in a mental hospital. Or about
right. And the song is Rake, which is beautiful. I know. All right, last two. Here we go. So I want to find me a lady fair and tender. Want to play her songs on my steel strings. Gonna lay her down in a bed of clover. Then I ain't coming back here anymore.
That's got to be Dylan.
That's Towns.
Oh, no way. When I heard Bed of Clover, I was like, oh, that's Dylan.
Blue Ridge Mountains.
Oh.
All right, last song.
Up. That's gorgeous. That was a gorgeous line.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the last one is, I gaze into the doorway of temptation's angry flame, and every time I pass that way, I always hear my name.
Every time I pass that way, I always hear my name. What a great line. I'm going to go Towns again. That sounds like it's about addiction.
That's Dylan.
Oh, it's probably him talking about cocaine.
From the Shot of Love album in 1981, Every Grain of Sand. I mean, that 80s Dylan, we could do a whole bunch of stuff with that 80s Dylan.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there you go, Mark. That was a tough game.
That was a hard game. What did I get? 3?
Yes.
Ugh.
But that's 100 in my world. So
yeah. Oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy. Hey,
what do we got next, Mark? What do we got next?
So next week we got well, of course we got a pick next week. We got more check out this gentleman's bingo. I'll be reminding folks that Frank and we're going to reuse 2 of the categories from last week. Look, I've got plenty of things. It takes the time to write these jokes. Okay. That's what really takes time here. So Frank.
Yes.
All right. Your 4 categories to choose from this evening.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Category number 1. Thanks, but he hates it now. Category 2. Living up to names that never really fit until one day it did. Number 3. New name, new band, new album, same old guys. And number 4, babes. And I will remind you, there is a gentleman doubles on the board.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with the same name, same album, same guys.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I like that reaction.
New band, new album.
That was it. Yeah.
Same old guys. From so this will be a new album released by a new band by people we already know. Here's the clue. Are you ready?
Is this like Jefferson's Starship or something like that?
2 of the 3 members of this band have been featured on a previous episode of this podcast.
2 or 3 members.
And released their first album in June of last year. Bonus clue. I can't say that I know the pronunciation of this name.
Of the band's name?
Yeah, I'm probably I think I know how to say it, but there's a chance it's some weird other thing.
Because I was like, right away my mind went to the draft, but I'm like, wait, we never covered Hot Water music yet in an episode. It's a recent episode that we did something like.
I would not say it was recent.
Oh, so it's old. Hello.
I'm not saying that it's old either. Yeah. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah, I'm ready. Just hit me with
it. Okay. The band in question is called Crikey.
Crikey.
And the album is Crikey.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So this is, you ready to laugh at this? Yeah, it's Crikey. And it's Ian MacKaye.
Oh.
And oh my God, I'm gonna forget the bass player from Fugazi's name. And some chick that Ian MacKaye was in another band with. I feel really bad.
That's right, because he's in like there was another like indie rock band he's in. Right.
So he did a band called Crikey.
Crikey.
I'm pretty sure it's Crikey. When I tried to like Google how do I say this right, just to make sure I wasn't being a jerk, it didn't help. It said quirky. And I was like, I am not going with this. Okay, so it's an American punk rock band, members made up of Ian MacKaye of Minor Threat, Fugazi, and the Evans, Amy Farliner.
Right, so that's Farina. His band. That's his duo. I'm looking them up. So the Evans or whatever.
The Evans, yeah, right.
That's his duo with her.
Right, she's playing drums in this. He's playing guitar. Excuse me, and then Joe Lally.
Yes,
Fugazi,
that was it.
Is also playing bass, and all three sing.
Oh,
yeah.
And how do you spell Crikey?
Crikey, Coriky. For everybody at home.
Wow.
Coriky. Crikey.
Okay.
Is that how you right? That's how that's pronounced.
That's it. Yeah. Self-titled record from last year.
Yeah. So we're gonna some dudes that you know, a chick on drums that Frank and I will be honest, we do not know.
No, but I have listened to the Evans before.
Oh, cool.
So it was moderately familiar. I think it was during the time of the Fugazi episode. Then I started seeing what he was up to, MacKaye. Sure. So yeah, cool, man. I'm amped.
Oh, I said MacKaye instead of MacKaye, didn't I? The internet's gonna hate me again.
Well, actually, I think when we did the little that clip on Instagram, I think I was the one who said MacKaye. And then like someone commented saying MacKaye, and I'm like, oh right, like I'm so stupid. And I'm like, oh right, yeah. I'm like, I like him too. And the guy's like, no, you pronounced it wrong. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, okay. I was like,
okay, well, it was you, it wasn't me.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah.
So look, hey, forgive us. We're just two idiots on the internet.
That's it.
Drinking beers and talking about records. I don't know what your problem is.
Cool, man. Well, I'm interested to check this out, Mark, and everyone. Yeah, look at that toilet paper.
Just wasting it.
Please listen to Towns Van Zandt, everyone, please.
Yeah, seriously.
So thank you for joining. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We try to make it as lighthearted as possible. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, and of course, stay safe and careful out there, everybody.
Hey guys, it's Mark. I just wanted to tell you, it really means the world to us, to Frank and I, that you've been listening this whole time. Please send us those album recommendations and keep that stereo cranked up, guys. So won't you say it with me now? Oh my. Oh, hell yes. Oh, bye-bye.
Recording has ended, Frank. Oh, press the button.